Happy New Year, Happy New Moon, and Happy New Magic Monday. Hi all, I'm Haley Comet, your resident star girl here in the cosmic corner of the internet, here to deliver your astrological forecast for the week of December 30th, 2024 until January 5th, 2025. Yes, we are entering a brand new year this week, but with the same magic that we tap into every single week. Here on Magic Monday, we transform our lives into something magical by seeking to align with the astrology, to grab hold of any opportunities that are awaiting us in the week ahead, and to be mindful of any more challenging energies that the week ahead may have in store. Here on Magic Monday, we become the magicians of our own life by not just understanding what's happening within our universe, the planetary shifts and aspects and themes, but understanding what you will bring to life within your universe, understanding the celestial backdrop that we are working with every single week. So if that feels in alignment to you and this is your first time stopping by, hello, welcome, subscribe. I'm here every single week here to guide you into the week's astrology. And before we dive into what you can expect for your New Year's Eve plans this week, your New Year's Day plans this week, whatever it is that you have planned this week, I want to start firstly in saying that from an astrological perspective, there is nothing too terribly significant about the new year. It is quite literally just a numeric change. In astrology, the new year technically begins in March, when Aries season begins. So please do not beat yourself up if you're not feeling so energized and motivated. You know, Mars is retrograde, which does not bode terribly well for anybody whose New Year's resolution is to start working out or start going to the gym or something of that nature. So while that's not the biggest shift simply from an astrological perspective, I do want to let you know that this week there is an opportunity to co-create with and to call in what it is that you'd like to experience within your universe. Because on Monday, December 30th, we have a Capricorn new moon. This would be the day that I would set your intentions, make your vision boards, pick your word of the year, set your goals, December 30th. Technically, we have a new moon window up to 3 days after, so there's no pressure or stress if you do not have time on Monday, December 30th, but I do want to let you know that new moons are a celestial blank slate. The moon is vacant from the sky, which represents this blank canvas that we can paint our desires and intentions upon. What do you want this next lunar cycle to bring you? What visions do you want to call in and plant into existence? Because there's this interesting dance this week. There's definitely some dreamy, imaginative energy this week. We've got Venus entering Pisces, the Capricorn new moon itself sextiles Saturn in Pisces, and Pisces is very much of the ethers. It's very much around our dreams and our imagination. Yet all of this Capricorn energy and the Saturnian energy is asking us to really ground down those visions around not just cutting it out and putting it on a vision board, but being willing to show up to make that happen within your existence, to pull these things that you desire out of the ethers and to ground them down into reality. And again, when you're playing with reality, when you're playing with Saturn, sometimes it does take discipline, sometimes it does take delayed gratification, sometimes it does take making the decision every single day to show up as that version of you that you are calling into existence. Listen, it's Capricorn season after all. And those visions, so long as they are truly for you, they are soulfully driven, they were picked for you by the divine, it will be a worthwhile process, the showing up and the working towards it and the slowly and steady ascension to making that dream a reality. Now, that being said, some dreams are better as dreams, right? When we're just imagining and envisioning, we don't need to deal with the potential sacrifices of Saturn or the potential adjustment or playing within the bounds of reality, bound by discipline and time constraints and mastery of a craft. It's a lot easier to envision something. And it's not to say that all of our dreams need to be brought into reality. All I'm saying is that if there is something that you are deeply calling in, there is a height that you want to ascend to, there is a talent within you that you would like to unearth, there is a vision that you would like to experience within this tangible reality, something that you want to touch and taste and see and smell and anchor into your physical existence, this Capricorn new moon is an optimal time to plant the seeds for that. Just understand that this is an energy around a dream with a plan. This is an energy around a dream with the discipline. This is an energy of dream with the knowledge that it will be a process that may take time and mastery and energy. And as I said, energy may be something that we're not feeling so abundant in. Right now, Mars is retrograde. And adding to that, we have Mars retrograde opposing Pluto. You may feel like you are against all odds. You may feel like you are having to swim upstream. You may have this dream and have this desire and have even this discipline to bring something into life, but experiencing a lot of obstacles. And I think with the energy of Mars opposite Pluto, it's kind of this energy around how badly do you want it? Again, you don't need to overexert your body. You don't need to burn yourself out. But with Mars opposite Pluto, it's being so dedicated to your own transformation that you are willing to fight for what it is that you want and what it is that you desire, as well as not let the enemy, whether you have, haters in your midst or competitors in your midst, not let those individuals distract you or keep you down. In fact, utilize any sort of competitive or just tense, spiky energy that may come up this week. Alchemize it, transmute it into power. Get even more obsessed with your vision. Get even more obsessed with the version of you that you are turning into. That is the ask. But I won't lie to you, some of you could feel some energies this week around a lot of frustration, a lot of rage, even with Mars opposite Pluto, whether it's your anger or somebody else's. You could experience jealousy at this time, other people copying you being jealous of other people. There is a need this week with the Capricorn new moon and Mars opposite Pluto to stay focused on your own race. Stay in your own lane. Take anybody who's trying to hold you back or keep you down or tell you that you cannot do that. Use that as fuel to win your own race. They will see. We're in Capricorn season, ruled by Saturn, the planet of karma and time. They will see in due time. Let your results and your success be your best revenge. That is the energy for you to tap into this week. We've got a new moon, we've got a new year. There could be this desire around getting very excited about something, but experiencing some resistances and some hurdles. When we take things out of the ethers and into reality, it gets real. And we don't always see all the logistics within our dreamland. Even if you are in your dream relationship, in your dream job, building your dream house, regardless, it does take time. There will be bad days. It does take showing up. So there's a need this week to not allow yourself to be distracted by competitors or to be defeated by the hurdles and obstacles that you may experience. Your dreams are worth it. You are worth it. And so we will dive deeply into this astrology thematically as well as day by day, everything that you need to know around how to work with this energy, what you can expect from yourself, navigating these cosmic waves of energy, what you may experience with other people as we navigate these cosmic waves of energy with Mars opposite Pluto. People could be really trying to fight with you for no reason, compete with you for no reason. And sometimes it's helpful to just understand this is happening astrologically so that you don't take it personally if you are the target for other people's misplaced anger. Mars opposite Pluto, it's a little spiky. It's not always the most pleasant. We could kind of experience some of the shadow sides of human nature. So that's going to be important to bear in mind as you navigate and deal with the general public this week. But before we dive in, take a step inside my Cosmic Cafe. I already know some of you might have already commented it, honestly. I know some of you are staring at my coffee, so worried that I'm going to spill it. So I'm going to go ahead and take a sip. Oh my goodness, that is delightful. I made a lavender latte that felt like the best blend of the Capricorn energy, which is around let's get caffeinated, let's get motivated, let's get inspired, let's climb to the top of the mountain of our ambitions and ideals. But the lavender gave me kind of Pisces energy around aiming for those visions, but seeking to do so in a very serene and spiritual way. At least that made sense in my mind. So let me know what you are sipping on to start your week. This little segment every single week on Magic Monday where we just kind of like chit-chat. I want it to feel like we're just in a very celestial cafe, grabbing a cup of coffee together, chit-chatting around what is happening, what this astrology is bringing up. So I ordered from the Cosmic Cafe a lavender latte. Let me know what you ordered from the Cosmic Cafe. My loves, this is a joyous week. this is a glorious, glorious week because this is the week that all 12 Days of Cosmos videos will be live. That means that you can find your sign's snapshot of the year that we are stepping into, what themes are coming to the surface, how it is that you can navigate them and co-create with them. I would personally recommend listening to 2 videos from that playlist. I would definitely listen to your ascendant sign, your rising sign. That will be the most accurate snapshot of what it is that you're stepping into within the year ahead. I would also encourage you to listen to your sun sign forecast. I use a technique in astrology called solar houses, which is when you pull the sun into the first house and set up the houses accordingly. The rising sign will always be the most real, like what is happening within your life, but you may find that the themes from your sun sign forecast are also alive in different ways. So make sure to check those 2 out. And while you're at it, what also might be interesting is listening to your 2024 forecast. Now that the year is complete, contemplating how those themes came to the surface, if those themes came to the surface. I did this last night with my own forecast and my own sign, and I was genuinely shook. I was genuinely shook because I was like, that is exactly how the year went. And why I found value in walking down memory lane in this way, revisiting and reviewing all that 2024 was for me, both astrologically as well as within my journey, is that it helped me arrive to this place of acceptance, which is actually such a necessary ingredient to the recipe of manifestation, right? If we talk about the Capricorn new moon and asking for our future and asking for these new gifts to be given to us, there is a need to arrive to a place of acceptance, if you can reach for it, gratitude, if you could reach for it, for the gifts that have already been given to you. Now, some of these gifts don't always seem like gifts. It was challenging circumstances. It was things that were not ideal. And it's not saying you need to be jumping up and down like, yay, I'm so glad I had that Saturn transit. I'm so glad I went through that transformation with that Pluto transit. It's not saying you have to jump up and down, but finding and arriving to a place of acceptance or even neutrality around it. Because a lot of times when we are stuck in regret, or wishing something had never happened within our past, it really blocks the way around us moving towards our future. I heard this from David Guyem. I hope I'm saying that correctly, but he was talking about how it's like if you were to get a gift from a friend, right? They gave you a gift and it's not what you wanted. They got you a Winnie the Pooh sweatshirt. Okay, call back to last week's Magic Monday. Let's say a friend gave you a Winnie the Pooh sweatshirt. You don't really like Winnie the Pooh. You're not going to wear the sweatshirt. This is not ideal. This is not what you wanted. And so you're like, oh, gosh, thanks. Like, I wish I was never given that Winnie the Pooh sweatshirt. I wish I was never given that Winnie the Pooh sweatshirt. Your friend might be like, dang, I don't want to give you any more gifts. So if you're sitting in the space around, I want a Tigger sweatshirt. I want a Tigger sweatshirt. I want a Piglet sweatshirt. I want a Piglet sweatshirt. Your friend is going to be more apprehensive in giving that to you because you were in that state of regret around, I don't want this. I wish I was never given this. No, thank you. And so contemplating our relationship with the creator, God, universe, whatever it is that you consider, arriving to a place of acceptance helps us find a sensation of peace within the past. It was not saying that it was right. It's not saying that you need to be in a place of utter joy around it, but it's just arriving to this place around, it happened. I was given that Winnie the Pooh sweatshirt, wasn't exactly ideal, but I'm at peace with it. And you may find your friend is a lot more enthused to give you a Piglet sweatshirt next time. You can find that the universe is working with you to bring in elements of your future because you have made peace with your past. So just something I want to share as we close out 2024 and move to a new year with this new moon. But let's go ahead and get into it and take it into vibe check of the week. So if you are new here to Magic Monday, I start every forecast with a hypothetical situation around how this astrology may surface within your world. It's not me saying this is how it absolutely will with these exact specifics, but if you tune into the overall theme and dynamics, you may find that some are alive within your week. It's basically a way that we translate the language of astrology from Sun sextile Saturn to new moon in Capricorn to Venus entering Pisces. We compare what those energies are like to a real life scenario so you can make sense of what Sun sextile Saturn means for you, what Venus entering Pisces means for you, what this new moon in Capricorn means for you. And so this week's vibe check of the week, it feels like the following scenario. We will say, and feel free to sub in whichever details make it more relevant for your world, but we will say that you are a singer. Okay, you're a singer and you are an independent artist, and most of the time you are just in your own little world, just creating your songs. You have arrived to a place of some success within your music, and you work hard on your music. You have really perfected your craft, and you have created art that you would consider very original, very innovative. You, for the most part, are just kind of in your own little world, perfecting your craft and working on your music. But from what you know of your industry, like, no one's doing it like you. Because it's true to self. Like, you get to this place of flow when you are in the zone and you're not worried about trends. You're not worried around what's doing in the algorithm. You just strive to be true to yourself, march to the beat of your own drum, sing your own songs in your own style. And you are popping off because of that. Like, you are arriving to success because of your originality. Authenticity, originality cannot be faked. Like, when you are doing your art, you are not concerned around how it's going to be perceived as this. You are just in that flow state. You're just channeling and downloading the art that you were meant to create. And like I said, you typically are somebody who strives to just show up for your craft, record your songs, write your songs, produce your songs, and it's a grind. You know, you might make it look easy, but there's a lot of effort that you've invested. There's a lot that it has taken up to this point to really build your craft. Like I was saying within the intro, we can have all of the inspiration, we can have all the visions, but until we ground them down, until we dedicate ourselves to our craft, until we, learn our producing software, until we really refine and practice and dial in, those visions will just stay in the ethers. And so it's required a lot of your energy, it's required a lot of your effort, and maybe from an outer perspective, you make it look easy, like all the good professionals do. You make it look seamless, you make it look easy. And most of the time, you're really not too terribly concerned what other people are doing. You just strive to stay in your own lane, create your own art. But one day, someone who's a fan of your music tags you in a TikTok and says, gosh, this sounds a lot like your name. And so you watch the TikTok or the Instagram Reel or whatever is going to be a freaking app this year. You watch this piece of short form content and you are familiar with this artist. And when you're watching this TikTok or Reel, it's like looking in the mirror. And not in a great way. It's like a funhouse mirror. It's like you see that they are biting off your style. Like they have copied one of your hooks. They've tried to mimic your aesthetic. They even took an entire line from one of your songs. They're like absolutely trying to emulate your style, but they're not doing a great job of it. Because listen, that's the thing. When we bite off other people, when we copy other people, when we look, oh, this person's having success, so let me do things exactly like this person, it will feel hollow. It will feel empty because it's not full of soul. It's not full of creativity. It's not full of heart with Mars and Leo. And so you're pretty upset because this is like a photocopy, a distorted photocopy of your craft, of your art, of something that you work very hard on. And you're looking at the numbers of this TikTok and it's actually performing quite well. And you're like, this is not fair. So you get in the comment section and you start typing and typing and typing and typing, saying this is so disrespectful. This is a complete bite off of my own style. And before you click comment, you take a moment, you reel it in. You're mad, you're angry, you're vengeful, but you take a moment and you remember, honestly and truly, imitation is the highest form of flattery, as annoying as it can be when you peep it, when you see that people are trying to copy you. And they can try to recreate this sauce, but they don't have the exact recipe, right? And truly, when you are doing your own thing and creating things that are novel and original in some way, you will inspire other people. Now, sometimes people take that inspiration and they use it to kind of pull from their own reserves of creativity, but sometimes there will be attempts like this where you're like, this is basically my own song, but kind of warped. And even though you are so frustrated, you recognize, okay, this person is, clearly inspired by me, clearly trying to imitate my art, my music, my sauce, right? And rather than making this person the enemy, I'm just going to utilize this experience as a testament to my own influence and to my own creative expression. I'm going to stay focused on what it is that I'm doing. And you even arrive to this place around feeling kind of sad for this person, because when you dig deeper into their music and look at their art, it's kind of all over the place, and it's clearly like photocopied from different artists, just trying to see what will pop off, what will do well. And it makes you sad as a true creative, as a true artist, to see like, dang, that must not feel very good. You know, faking what you wish you had, searching for popularity and success in a way that's hollow because it's not you. It's just looking at what other people are doing. And again, you don't need to put too much energy this person's way, but you decide to alchemize this experience rather than getting salty, being like, gosh, this TikTok is getting all of these views. It's basically like a recreation of my own song. Rather than getting salty and getting bitter about it, you choose to alchemize the experience and stay focused on your own visions and say, hey, I've reached this level of success. And as I continue climbing, as I continue ascending, this is just the beginning. Whenever you're successful, there will be people who are trying to copy you. There will be people who are trying to hate on you. There will be people who are trying to copy you. It's part of the territory. You know, new levels, new devils. With every new level that you reach in any form of success, whether that's creative success, whether that is financial success, whether that is relational success, whether that is spiritual success, whatever level you arrive to, there will be new challenges and obstacles that meet you there. And in life, we really do pick our hard. And I want to be very clear what I mean by that, because I believe we can live a life of, flow and co-creation and alignment. I'm not saying it needs to constantly be resistance and obstacle, but things in life will be challenging. You can either pick your heart around having to deal with annoying people who are copying your art, or you can pick your heart around having to deal with annoying customers at work, at your retail job. There will be hard days, there will be challenges. In our dreams, we don't imagine all that, right? We just see the success and it's gonna be so great when my music is popping off. But with every new level of influence, with every new level of success, and whatever that looks like for you, whatever you're sharpening into focus with the Capricorn new moon, there's an acknowledgement this week around it will take getting over some obstacles, right? There will be certain hurdles that are awaiting me there. And it's being very realistic about that. Again, we pick our hard in a sense. It's not to say that it's not freaking annoying when people are copying us or biting off our style or what have you. But it's just acknowledging this is a annoying but necessary component to my climbing to my own success. And if anything, this is a testament to my reaching my own success. So let me stay focused. Let me stay laser focused on my own vision, because people don't copy things that they find mediocre. So allowing yourself to motivate that even more so, recognizing that must be a hollow way to live, feeling like you need to look left and look right and do what other people are doing in order to reach your own success. This is all me. This is my heart. This is my soul. And that's what makes it very discouraging at times. People do copy you because it's like, I put my heart into this. I put my soul into this. And this person just put their thumbs into it, in that they scrolled across my content and then just tried to replicate it in a certain way. Like, it's frustrating because it is so heart-centered, because it is so soul-centered. But that's the thing. That's just one song. You've got a reservoir of creative talent within. And there's 20 more songs where that song came from. And anybody who feels like they need to bite off other people's success, that denotes that they don't feel too confident in the reservoir that exists within them. So they're trying to siphon from your reservoir. There's more where that song came from. There's more where that success came from. Because, Venus in Pisces, it's very spiritual. It's very much around being in flow state, right? Being a channel, being a visionary for certain creations. However it is that you create, whether you create a business, whether you create a song, we're all cosmic creators. And no one can take from you what is meant to be yours. And nobody can take from you what you were meant to create and bring forward. And that's why you have such an ease or a flow in creating this music, because it's authentic. It's true to you. It's true to your path. It's true to your soul. It just feels good to be in your own energy and creating what you were meant to create. Listen, what you have cannot be replicated because it's fated. And it's beyond even just your music. It's you creating your own authentic style, and your house and your day-to-day existence. Life is a form of creativity. And if we get off track with our own soul, what it is that we feel pulled towards, and we exist in this life from this lens of scarcity around there's not enough for me, that's when we will try to bite off other people's style or see other people having success and feeling like they're taking that from us. So going and siphoning from them or taking from them. No one can take from you what is meant for you. And if anything, when people are trying to compete with you, when people are trying to hate on you, when people are trying to copy you, that just denotes that they are not trusting in their own authentic path, in their own connection with the creator, God, universe, whatever it is that you want to consider it. So they feel like you are a threat. Nobody is a threat for what it is that you're made for and what you're meant for. That's not to say that you won't work hard as heck on it, right? Sun sextile Saturn, we're in Capricorn season. It's not to say that you won't have to be on your Zoom or be in Ableton or be learning your instruments, whatever it is. It's not to say that it will be easy, but it is already yours. You were chosen for this. You were made for this, and you don't need to compete with other people for what it is that you're already made for. The ultimate goal is unearthing the most talent and potential out of yourself. You know, that's something that I think we get wrong about Capricorn quite often, is that it's not necessarily around climbing to the top of the corporate ladder. It's just wanting to make the most use of all of our talent, all of our resources in order to be the best that we possibly can be. Whether that's as a mom, whether that's as a singer, whether that's as an astrologer, whatever it is. It's just wanting to be the best you that you can be. And with Mars opposite Pluto, I won't lie to you, there could be some competitive energy, some spiky feelings that emerge. You might scroll by something on the algorithm that maybe is not even copying you, right? But it's somebody within your industry who's popping off, who's having a lot of success. And there might be some competitive feelings that emerge from you. But again, people are not taking anything from you. There is literally space for all of us to win. And I genuinely believe that. And I feel anytime that we give in to feelings of resentment or bitterness, all we're doing is blocking our own path. All we're doing is blocking our own success. And the gift of Pluto, it can drag us down, right, to bitterness or resentment, but it can also be transforming. That's why in the vibe check, you had that moment around popping off in the comment section, saying this, that, and the third. You did not post it. Okay, you did not post it. That could be the Mars-Pluto energy, you know, ugliness, rage coming to the surface. But we can alchemize those feelings and turn them into, well, this must mean I'm doing something right. This must mean that I am getting closer to my chosen aims. This must mean that I'm being visible. I'm being seen. Right? Mars and Leo. Leo is governed by the sun. When you're shining like the sun, there will be some shade. Because not all of you are singers. And not all of you will be experiencing, you know, copycat this week. But what a lot of you can experience is kind of some hater energy. People trying to compete with you. People trying to keep you down or tear you down. And it's important with the Pluto energy, you don't allow it to draw you down to that level around meeting this person and the bitterness or resentment that they need to be operating into to feel like the best usage of their time and energy is to hate on you or to doubt you. Alchemize it. They will see one day. You know, stay focused on the real win with Sun sextile Saturn. Sometimes we lose in the short term around, okay, they had this one song that's a replication of mine that's kind of popping off in the algorithm, whatever. But my success will be my ultimate revenge. It's like eye on the prize. And with Saturn energy, sometimes you got to be patient for that. You got to have delayed gratification. Around, I don't need to give this any of my energy right now. My success will do the talking for me. My success will be the revenge for me. Stay focused. Every new level that you reach, there will be more people who want to take your spot or want to hate on you or want to compete with you. Understand that this is a necessary component to the visions that you have selected for yourself, and keep it moving. Stay focused on your own race, on your own visions, on your own dreams. So we'll talk about this astrology day by day. I just have a couple of quick notes before we do. I want to let you know that I'm based in California. So when I give my forecast, I always tell the story of the week's astrology by way of the time zone PST, so Pacific time zone. So please adjust to your time zone before making a note of them. I want to let you know that I have timestamps below should you feel called to jump to a particular day, jump back to a particular day. There's also a playback speed button here on youtube.com where you could speed me up, where you could slow me down. And without further ado, let's go ahead and take it into the astrology of Monday, December 30th. So happy Monday, December 30th, and happy new moon in Capricorn. So today's Capricorn new moon lands at 2:27 p.m. PST. Today's new moon in Capricorn lands at 9 degrees Capricorn, making a sextile to who it's answering to, Saturn in Pisces. So let's break this down and what this means for you. So this is an incredibly pragmatic, practical, helpful new moon, because it's not just planting the seeds of what it is that we want to call in. It's also planting the seeds around that discipline to continue to show up for it. This is really a new moon to ask yourself, who is my higher self and how are they spending their day? Because if I can replicate, not other people, right? Biting off other people. If I can replicate my higher self, what my most actualized, embodied self, the me that pulls from all of the reservoir of talent, creativity, passion, and potential within me, how would they be showing up? If I replicate their daily routine, if I replicate their day, I become them. So it's really just this energy around tapping into your higher self and asking yourself, what time do they get out of bed? How is it that they spend their morning? Do they bucket time today to write and record songs, or do they spend their day scrolling on social media, seeing what other musicians and what other artists are up to? It really is WWMHSD. That doesn't roll off the tongue. But what would my higher self do? How would they operate? Because it's beyond just calling in, I want this particular car, I want this to be my job, I want this to be my relationship. It's also planting the seeds around the discipline and the diligence to continue to work towards that. Because even if you're in your dream job, you will have hard days. Even if you're in your dream relationship, you will have to work towards it or work on your communication or what have you. It's beyond just calling in the what that we want, it's the how we will maintain that. And that's what this new moon is supporting you in. And this new moon is interesting because it is a nodal bender. So it's squaring the south node in its final degrees of Libra and squaring the north node in its final degrees of Aries. The nodes shift early January. Things are shifting and moving and aligning. And it's almost like this motivation that we're pulling both from where it is that we've been, right, the energy of South Node, but also where it is that we're going. Just like I was talking about within Cosmic Café, I think having a healthy appreciation and acceptance of the past is helpful, as well as revisiting the you that wanted what it is that you have currently. That could be motivation to keep going, right? You can have this acknowledgement around, there's more for me to achieve, there's more for me to succeed at, there's more for me to actualize within this existence. But my goodness, my younger self wanted so deeply what it is that I have now. My younger self would have been so excited if other people are replicating and copying my music, because that means people are listening to my music and my art is having an impact. Again, not saying it's not annoying, but my younger self, who was just learning my producing software and just had this vision, just had this dream, would be so stoked to have these sort of problems, to have this sort of hard. And I honor and understand that there's more for me to initiate and move towards, right, with it scoring the north node, but I can also honor how far I've come. And sometimes thinking about those prior versions of you motivates you to keep going. That is something that I think about all of the time. Every week that I feel tempted to skip Magic Monday, because trust me, there has been many a week that I've wanted to skip Magic Monday, and you all are so lovely. Like, genuinely, you all are so lovely, because I feel so grateful to have the subscribers that I do, because you guys are always like, you can always skip a week, like, don't burn yourself out, like, it's fine that it's late. Like, you guys are so understanding. And while I do create content for you, and then I do aim for it to be something that is helpful or informative or inspiring, like, absolutely, that is a source of motivation. But to me, what gets me in this chair and in this cosmic corner every single week is actually thinking of my past self, the one who was in this chair and had this camera, who was talking to pretty much no one, but still showed up every single week. Because truly, I used to give this forecast to maybe a couple people a week, if I was lucky, for a sustained amount of time. I think maybe for like a year or two, right? There was not really people checking on Magic Monday. I showed up like people cared. And because I showed up like people cared, eventually people care, which I'm so honored and grateful for, that people watch Magic Monday, because I swear to you, for a long time, nobody was really watching. So when I think about skipping a week, even though you guys are so gracious and so kind by saying you could skip a week if you're super stressed out or you're busy or what have you, what gets me every time that I feel tempted is I just think about that version of me who was talking to nobody, and how excited that younger version of me would be if people were actually listening to this forecast. If I could show up then, when not a soul was checking on Magic Monday, nobody was concerned if I missed a week, right? If I could show up then every single week diligently, then I can certainly show up now. And listen, this new moon is ruled by Saturn in Pisces. We've got Venus entering Pisces. There is a very mystical, spiritual tone with this week. We're being asked to work towards it with the energy of Capricorn. We're being asked to look at the height that we want to reach to and reverse engineer the steps necessary in order to do that. We're being asked to chisel discipline and commitment and diligence, certainly, but there's also a sprinkle of magic and mysticism with all of this Pisces energy. And I think a necessary component to success is the inner world that you create. Because one could argue that the reason I was able to eventually, after some time, calm the conditions of people who actually watch this series that I put out every week is because I acted as if that was the case. My routine mirrored a routine of somebody who created content that people consumed, and I made it a priority, and it was a part of my business. My routine and my mindset reflected that of success, or at least people listening to this forecast, before that was the reality. And it's almost like when we cultivate this kind of delusional or dreamy inner world, listen, Pisces energy tends to be that. When we cultivate that within, and our actions also echo that, our external circumstances eventually catch up to that. They have to. It's like a dissonance. It's a mismatch. If I go about my day as though I have individuals who watch my forecasts, if my routine and my work ethic echoes that there are people who listen to my forecast, eventually they will come, right? I built it and they will come. And creating a world within of what it is that you desire, how would my higher self think? How would they view these challenges and obstacles? How would they show up with this particular experience? Again, if you tap into your higher self and then you allow your actions to also echo what your higher self would do, that will become your reality. I am a believer of that. And this new moon in Capricorn asks you, what is it that you want to build? What is it that you want to ascend to? And maybe even having this spiritual certainty around it. Because I think if we're always in this energetic around hustling and competing and checking left and right and being very cutthroat with it, it's really signaling the sense of scarcity that anybody could take from you what is meant for you. There are things that are meant for you. Nobody can take what is meant to be yours. And it's not saying you should take that and use it to rest on your laurels, right? And procrastinate, be like, well, it's mine already. But it's just knowing you were chosen for this. You were designed for this. Again, what you have, your magic, your essence, your style, your creative expression, your talents, your gifts, it cannot be replicated because it's fated. It cannot be stolen because you were designed for it. You were made for it. And so it's just knowing that when we view it that way, these visions, these dreams, these passions were given to you by the divine for a reason. And you will have to hone your craft. You'll have to get on your Zoom. Okay. You'll have to get on your Magic Monday, whatever it is. You'll have to show up for it, but it's yours. It's already yours. And that helps us get out of this energy around being worried that other people are going to take our spot or that these haters are going to bring us down. We'll talk more about that. With Mars opposite Pluto, some of that spiky energy might already be building. But it helps you ease into the knowledge that you were made for this and show up for the work because you were made for this. So as you make your vision boards, as you contemplate what you want your word of the year to be, or however it is that you like to signal newness and what it is that you'd like to call into existence, know that your passions are not random, your desires are not random, the way that you express yourself is not random, the sort of art that you're drawn to is not random. It's all clues and signals around the impact that you are really here to have during your time here on planet Earth. And that evening before midnight, Mercury in Sagittarius trines Chiron in Aries. Exciting news, Mercury does clear the shadow this week. It clears its post-retrograde shadow this Wednesday, January 1st. So that's some good news. And you should find, just with all this fresh new energy, finally Mercury is entering fresh territory of the sky. We've got this fresh new moon. We've got this fresh year. There's just this desire to focus on the future that you're building. Again, finding peace with what has happened within your past, or at least finding acceptance, whatever it is that you can reach for, even transmuting any bitterness or anger that you're still holding on to with that Mars opposite Pluto, and asking yourself, what world do you want to build? And we build worlds in many different ways, but I think with the energy of Mercury and Sagittarius trining Chiron in Aries tonight, there's this ask around choosing the mindset and the mentality that is the most conducive for your own healing journey. right? Chiron station direct, there is this forward momentum. And with Mercury in Sagittarius trining Chiron in Aries, it's really contemplating, what am I telling myself? How am I framing these experiences from my past? And what will be the most conducive for how it is that I want to move forward, or how it is that I want to move towards healing? Because it's so easy. And I want to say this because we are entering some Pisces energy this week. And I love Pisces. I am a Pisces, but we have to be realistic about this. It's so tempting to feed any sort of mindset of, victimhood. And again, that is not me saying that you have not genuinely been a victim of some situation. But what I'm saying is that in the vibe check situation, you were a victim of that person copying you, but you can utilize that experience and allow it to take you on this downward spiral around this would happen to me. I work so hard, and for what? This makes me just want to give up, like allowing yourself to feed those thoughts that are not the most supportive. It's not going to help you arrive to a place of neutrality or acceptance that somebody has, bit off your music. Again, they shouldn't have done that, but that's not a supportive mentality for you to have. It doesn't change that it did happen. Some of us could have certain obstacles, certain annoying things that it's just like, really, life, really? And it's going to be tempting because there could be part of you that wants to feed this kind of downward spiral around, this would happen to me, things like this always happen to me, this is the worst. It's not to say that it didn't suck, but it's contemplating, is this the most empowering and helpful way of framing the situation? And is there a way of framing the situation that is ultimately more healing or more helpful for me to move forward? And so it's just this energy around, I could choose to feel like a victim in the situation and feel sorry for myself, or I could choose to view this around, this is a testament that my dreams are coming to reality because people are biting off of me. That means that I have influence. Or just an energy around with Mercury in Sagittarius trine Chiron and Aries, just even looking at that and being like, thank God I don't have to bite off other people. That seems like a hollow, empty way to live. Like, that was a song that I just channeled. It flowed through me easily. I didn't have to do a little scroll and do a little copy paste action. It just flowed through me. Like, thank goodness I am who it is that I am, and I'm not how these other people are. Again, it's just choosing the lens or the frame that is the most supportive in your moving forward. This could also be an energy around having conversations that are more healing, writing in your journal and finding a perspective that's more healing, writing a song, write a song about it. Put your feelings into song or into writing, with Mercury in Sagittarius trine Chiron in Aries, because that is a form of alchemy. When we have Pluto energy, alchemy, transmutation, transformation is a focal point this week. And if we can take something that happened to us that was painful, that was hard, that was yucky, that was gross, and turn it into a poem, turn it into a blog post, turn it into a photo, turn it into a screenplay, whatever it is, we have transformed that thing. Because now it's not just a yucky thing that happened to us, now it's source material. And it can create a piece of art that lives on. That's been something that's been helpful for me, finding acceptance with some icky things that have happened, because I recognize all of the gifts that experience gave me. The experience itself, I would not define as a gift. It was a little bit of a Winnie the Pooh sweatshirt, like, why did this happen? But because I was given that, it led me to learn all sorts of information that I would not have learned otherwise. It led me to seek different counsel and healing modalities that have taught me so much. And even just viewing it in that mindset around, I'm in acceptance and neutrality that it happened, and I'm grateful for what it gave me or what I found within myself or found within this experience. Because of that, it is a more healing mentality for me to have, rather than feeling like a victim of the circumstance and like, why me, why me, why me? It's just choosing the radio station of your own thoughts and what's going to be the most supportive framework that are aligned with what you are calling in. That of healing, that of success, that of abundance, whatever it is that you want to experience this new moon and this year. So on Tuesday, happy last day of the year, the Capricorn moon is still considered new at this time, and it squares Chiron at 7:12, going on to trine Uranus at 3:30 p.m. And this is kind of reflected in the vibe check around, okay, it's great that I reached this level of success, where people are biting off of me, but it still makes me feel some type of way. Like it brings up a little bit of an ouch because I worked so hard for this. This got numbers that I feel like I'm owed because this was my own genuine self-expression. I'm salty about this. I feel like there's so many people who are trying to take advantage of me within this industry. And this is just another example of this. Again, you can think all day long, okay, this is a testament of my own success, but it's not to say it doesn't hurt and that it's not annoying and that it sometimes brings up deeper themes within around maybe this has been a pattern for you, that people are constantly trying to copy you. It could bring you back to certain memories of you growing up and how you just always like to do your own thing, march to the beat of your own drum. You would do what was authentic and true to you and people would call you weird. But if somebody else wore what you wore, did what you did, it was considered cool and trendy. Like maybe this is bringing up a deeper theme within you. And ouch, this sucks. This is a familiar feeling within me. And I can acknowledge, okay, I guess this is a testament of my own success that I have haters or friends who seem like they want to see me fall or things of that nature. I can acknowledge, okay, anyone who's trying to pull me down considers me in some way above them. Like in some way, it is a testament that I'm somebody who is worthy of emulating or worthy of competing with or worthy of their attention to hate on me. Like I can acknowledge that, but it doesn't mean it doesn't still hurt. And again, even if this week's vibe check storyline isn't playing out exactly, there could just be certain hurt feelings that are coming to the surface early in the morning. Contemplating what this year was, what this year wasn't, and having a little bit of an ouch around, okay, I can have gratitude that experience is what sent me into therapy, and that experience I wrote lots of songs about, or that experience led me to connect with this person. I can acknowledge that to a mental level with Mercury trine Chiron, but oof, ouch, why'd I have to go through that? Like emotionally, purging and grieving, which is important. We talked a lot about this within last week's Magic Monday, which I'll link below, around just the necessity to get that stuff out of your body and allow those emotions to come through as they do show up. The moon's in Capricorn, which can sometimes be this energy around wanting to repress or suppress or even bury it around work or bury it around success. And I think there's just an ask on Tuesday to allow yourself to feel what's coming up. Again, choose the mentality of how you want to frame the situation that supports your moving forward, but don't feel like it's wrong to feel how it is that you're feeling. In fact, if you just allow yourself to feel how it is that you're feeling, it will pass. And honestly, this is going to be very earth sign season advice, but genuinely this has been so supportive for me, is when I have an emotion that comes up that's not the most pleasant, I allow it, I accept it certainly, but I also acknowledge what may be contributing to it. Because a lot of times there's reasons why we are in a little bit more of a fraught or tender space. Like you might have certain emotions, but when you think about it, you're like, okay, but I haven't drank water all day, and I haven't been outside, and I haven't been sleeping, and I haven't ate a leafy green, and I drank a bottle of wine. All of that contributes. And sometimes even just acknowledging like, okay, I'm feeling a little tender, I'm feeling a little vulnerable, and that's okay. I'm a human being. But I can also acknowledge that I might be feeling this way because I've not been treating my body extraordinarily well, or because I am operating on minimal sleep, or because I've drank only coffee today. Acknowledging that there might be other factors that are contributing to this helps you shift it around. Okay, should I drink a cup of water? Let me see if I still feel the same if I go outside and I move my body. Especially with the Capricorn moon trining Uranus later in the day, it's this energy around how can I move through any sort of stuck energy? And then that evening for your New Year's Eve, if you're celebrating, the Capricorn moon sextiles Neptune and Pisces. So with the Capricorn moon, you might be more apt to want to wear your really elegant clothes, enjoy, a filet mignon or a really lovely vegan meal. Like you might be in the mood to indulge in the best of the best. And I would say with the sextile to Neptune in Pisces, it is this meeting of spirit and substance where you can, poo-poo the energy of new year, new me. You can poo-poo the wearing of the different underwear at midnight to call in the sort of year that you want to experience, eating grapes underneath the table. Like you can poo-poo all of these traditions, but I think intention is everything. And so how powerful to choose to intention set by the color underwear that you're wearing. And if you don't know what I'm referring to, it said that the color of underwear that you are wearing at midnight is representative of the year that you will have. So you can wear, I think, pink for love, white for peace, yellow for happiness. Again, will that change your life just wearing yellow undies? Probably not. But if you frame your year that way, if you intention set around, I'm going to have a happy year, so I'm wearing yellow underwear. Or if you eat those grapes and you say this is going to be a year of prosperity, you are already calling that in. So I think there's a lot of value there if you feel so inclined. And so the moon will be void, actually starting off the year. The moon is void after it sextiles Neptune at 10:12 p.m. until it enters Aquarius tomorrow. On Wednesday, January 1st, 2025, happy 2025. I want to let you know that the first day of the year is a little wah-wah. Like the lunar aspects are not the best. And so I don't want you to feel like, gosh, if I have a bad January 1st, that means I'm going to have a bad year. Not at all. Like I said, in astrology, the new year begins in March. You're so good. But what I will say is that the moon is in Aquarius all day long. Mercury clears its post-retrograde shadow today. So you could find that you're thinking new thoughts, wanting to build new worlds, wanting to put energy towards new ideas. I think there's so much value, especially with Mercury having trined Chiron and Aries, to put your mental energy towards worlds that are more supportive of you. Because a lot of times you can get stuck around, why did that happen? And regretting, what if I would have done this or if I would have done that? At a certain point, you do kind of get bored rehashing it and you're just like, I need to think some new thoughts, or I need to have some new ideas, or just put this energy towards something different. And maybe that's, you know, a new crush. You've got Venus entering Pisces, Venus in exaltation. This is a very kind of dreamy romantic energy that's coming in. And sometimes to heal from somebody else, it's helpful to put mental energy towards somebody different. Hear me out, because I'm not saying that you always need to have a crush or put energy towards other people. All I'm saying is that if you're stuck on somebody and you're like, dear God, why can I not get over this? Sometimes putting energy towards a new crush helps you detach from that particular person. It's not to say you need to go date that person. It's not saying that you need to avoid the emotional work or the healing work. It's just saying my mental energy is caught up in these loops of pain and betrayal and suffering, and that's just not so fun. So if I have this romantic energy in my brain, let me put it towards my gym crush. Let me put it elsewhere, because this world that I'm building is one that feels very lower vibrational and very painful, and I'm just wanting to build a different world. Even if I'm not building it literally with this person, I'm just thinking new sorts of thoughts. I'm inspired in new sorts of ways. It can be helpful to kind of put your mind towards different things. Maybe that's a person, but maybe that's a project, or maybe that's something new that you want to create in the year ahead. You should feel some forward momentum with Mercury having cleared the shadow today. And we are in Mercury green light territory in terms of anything mercurial. So writing, communicating, the mind. The reason I said the astrology on Wednesday is a little tense is because the moon aligns with Pluto early in the morning around 4:45, going on to oppose Mars. So it accentuates that building Mars opposite Pluto energy that exacts tomorrow, which can be a little spiky, can be a little competitive, can be a little tense. Again, people could be picking fights with you that is really just a projection of what they're really mad at, which I'm not saying is okay to do, but sometimes just acknowledging that around this is like a you thing. Because, you know, people really don't see us as we are, they see us as they are, through the lens of their own life and their own, you know, resentment, their own bitterness, their own desires, like, and us succeeding or winning or shining or just doing our thing. Sometimes people won't be able to see that. They're just being mirrored what they haven't achieved or what they feel like they were denied within this life. So they'll want to make us wrong to direct from what they're really mad at. And how this may manifest within your life. You could have something that you're really excited about. Maybe a success, maybe something you want to call in. You tell a friend, you think they're going to be happy for you. And you get met with this energy of, do you really think you could do that? Or if you succeeded in something, oh, I've heard that's actually really easy, or that's actually not that big a deal. And if you internalize that, if you make it about you, allowing that doubt to make you doubt yourself, allowing that dismissal to make you dismiss this genuine accomplishment, you will feel some type of way. And sometimes it's just important to acknowledge, maybe you would be somebody who would cheerlead and hype up your friend in what it is that they desire, what it is that they succeeded in. But some people can't be happy for you because they are so sad about themselves, or like what it is that they feel like they have not achieved. They cannot be genuinely happy for you because of their own jealousy, or because of their own resentment, or because your success makes them confront where they don't have the confidence to try, or where it is that they have failed within their world. People are not always seeing you. And it's important not to make it a you thing around, can I really do that? Or I guess it's not that big of a deal. It's just important to honor, okay, I'm being met with a little bit of weird, tense, competitive, spiky energy. Let me not take it personally. Let me not allow this to bring me down. This could also show up around you're just driving from place to place, you're interacting with the general public, and there's just like a tense, more mad, more angry vibe. And you just don't want to meet people in that lower vibration. You know, if someone tries to pick a fight with you or someone tries to send some just weird hater energy your way, return to sender, right? Evil eye. Evil eye this week is alive, so just have your protection and redirect. Try not to feed it any energy. You know, the internet and social media is a great example of this. And I'm sure those of you who also create content online can feel me on this. There are times that you kind of feel like the internet's punching bag to a certain degree, and that there will be people in your comment section who are just so mad and so angry, and you're like, what did I do to make them so mad and so angry, when I delivered this message with as much intentionality and heart as possible, and my intentions were truly just to be positive and uplifting and empowering? Why is this person so mad? And it was so helpful for me as a sensitive Pisces to just recognize they're not mad at me. They have rage that they want to direct somewhere, so it's easy to direct here. And it's just so interesting because we all pick out pieces of messages that validate our own worldview. Like, I'll have something where I say 20 positive things in a forecast and like one more negative challenging things. And I'll get individuals who magnify that one more challenging things and say, well, I guess I'm doomed. I guess I should just give up now. I guess life just hates me. And like have this whole soliloquy in my comment section that I'm like, wait, there was so much other positive things. But that validated their own worldview, and they wanted something to be mad at. And this is a great vehicle for them to feel heard. And so while it's tempting, just in case you deal with something similar, it's tempting to want to clap back, but sometimes detaching from it, again, Aquarius energy, in the bigger scheme of things, did I say anything that makes it reasonable for somebody to react in this way? No, then it likely is more symptomatic for what that person is walking through. Again, we saw this in the vibe check around, this is annoying and I'm annoyed and I want to clap back at this person, but big picture, I can have empathy that this person lacks so much originality and creativity within themselves that they feel like they have to bite off of me. Like sometimes being able to attach to it and not take it personally around, I was just somebody that this person, this creative vampire chose to siphon from. It's not so personal. It's not about me. This person in my comment section, it's not that they hate me. It's not that they're mad at me. They don't have to like me. That's fine. But I don't need to take it personally or internalize it. Like sometimes detaching from that is helpful. And even when it comes to your partnerships or your relationships, you know, Venus is at the anaretic degree today. It's at 29 degree, which sometimes can have this energy of urgency. There's an important ask to see where it is that you can address the root cause. Like sometimes you could just bicker just because you want to fight about something. Like you just want to get this energy out of your system. And there could be an ask to really talk about what's really bothering you around. You might just be bringing up the breakfast or whatever the squabble is about, but there's something that's really frustrating you. Maybe within your relationship, maybe within something else, and it's misdirected. There's a lot of misdirected anger this week and spikiness this week. So it's not saying we can't be teachable and learn and listen and have empathy for fellow humans, but just know that some people are not fighting you, they're fighting themselves, and you just are an easy target for them to direct their anger towards. So on Thursday, January 2nd, I want to let you know that at 7:24 p.m., Venus, the planet of love, beauty, and money, enters its exaltation Pisces. Venus and Pisces are besties. Basically, Venus loves being in this territory, and when we have a benefic happy, she can dispel all sorts of blessings upon us. And some of these blessings might be this more romantic lease on life, romanticizing everything, romanticizing your breakfast, romanticizing even the hustle, right? It's Capricorn season. Romanticizing those early mornings that you are just listening to the hook over and over, contemplating how you can make this song the best that it can possibly be. Romanticizing the latte that you make in the morning. Like really making your life a work of art is the energy of Venus and Pisces, which is why our vibe check was more creatively oriented. Because again, I've talked to a lot of you gratefully within consultations and whatnot, and a lot of really creative souls are drawn to this channel. I've talked to jewelry designers, I've talked to sculptors, I've talked to writers, I've talked to poets, I've talked to musicians, I've talked to directors, I've talked to filmmakers. I just feel like it's a very creative bunch here in the Cosmic Corner. And even if you would not consider yourself a creative person, the way that you get ready in the morning is a form of creativity. The way that you decorate your house, the way that you decorate your days, everything can be a form of creativity. And it really is just about living in alignment with what moves your soul, right? With Venus in Pisces. That's why when someone is in flow, when someone is doing what they were soulfully called upon to do by universe, source energy, nobody can get in the way of that. You know, I am a belief that when we are creating, we are really just conduits, right? Being able to download and channel the beauty and the wisdom of the universe. And no one can get in the way of that. And when you start to look left and look right around what are other people doing or what's more successful, that's when you kind of block that flow. It really is around living the life that feels the truest to you, the most aligned to you. And that comes through in how it is that you do everything that you do that cannot be replicated, that cannot be copied. People can try. People can try. And I would say with Venus in Pisces, you know, Venus is a planet of love. And so with Venus in Pisces, some of us could be falling in love with strangers this week. We could be falling in love with somebody at the coffee shop. We could be falling in love with someone at the gym and romanticizing and idealizing our whole life with this person. Again, this too is a form of creativity. And I want you to honor that because sometimes there's certain people who come into our orbit who are so magical and so inspiring, and we do create all sorts of art around this person, or they inspire us to reach the next level of success within our business. But it's important to know that they are merely the canvas. Like that imagining, that fantasy, that world building, that art, that was all you. That person just elicited that from within. And you know, with Venus and Pisces, it could be an energy around seeing the absolute best in somebody. You know, sometimes even creating somebody to be something that they are not. And again, this can be such a magical gift. Like with Venus and Pisces, it's really seeing to the soul of people. It's seeing the divinity in people. But it's not denying the reality of the situation. We're in Capricorn season. So you can honor this person and be inspired by them, and imagine about them, and envision about them. That's all well and good. But with Capricorn energy, remember to stay grounded. Don't get too carried away with the Venus Pisces energy. And you know, Pisces as an energy is very lost in its own world. And this feels relevant to mention because at 11:21 p.m. tonight, Mars in Leo opposes Pluto in Aquarius. And even though it exacts Thursday night, you're going to feel this build and you're going to feel this separate as we get closer to the weekend. So it's not just limited to Thursday night, but I think it's fascinating that we have this very dreamy, ethereal Venus Pisces energy and then this very like tense, spiky, competitive, prideful energy of Mars in Leo opposite Pluto in Aquarius. Venus in Pisces is very lost in its own world. And I think the aim is to be so lost within your own world that you don't even notice. You don't even notice the people who are competing with you, hating on you, copying you. It's just being in your own world, creating your art, creating your life, doing what feels good, flowing with what source designed you to be. Yes, people are going to hate on you. They're going to copy you. They're going to try to tear you down. Okay, the goal is to be so within your own world that you hardly even notice. And if you notice, you don't really care because you're so busy creating what you're here to create and creating your own dream life. It's really the vibe here. Because competitors, haters, it's just going to be a fact of life. But create your own inner world that's so rich and so lush that you don't even feel tempted to spend energy in other people's weird, hateful, imitating worlds. It's like, no, thank you. Why would I try to copy you or be worried about what you're doing when I'm so busy doing me and creating what I'm here to be doing? And sometimes that's helpful to just tune out the noise around, I don't care who's trying to compete with me or who's hating on me or who's preying on my downfall. I'm just lost in my own world. For some of you, this could actually be a source of motivation, honestly, is the people who are preying on your downfall. And I don't mean this in terms of you obsessively checking what it is that you're doing and feel like you are competing with them and feel like if they win that you lose. I'm just saying sometimes in those moments that you feel drained, you feel defeated, you don't want to get on your Zoom, you don't want to go record that song, you don't want to go record Magic Monday. Sometimes it's helpful just to motivate yourself to just remember that they don't want to see you on the Zoom. They don't want to see you recording the song. They don't want to see you record Magic Monday. And you can think of real people within your life that you know are preying on your downfall. You know, somebody who's always on your social media, never likes anything, and you could tell they're just like monitoring to see what it is that you're doing. That high school bully, that competitor within your industry. Like you can think in those moments that you feel tempted to slack off. You don't want to go to the gym today. You don't want to get on your Zoom today. You don't want to film your Magic Monday today. Just be like, they don't want to see me. They don't want to see me at the gym. They don't want to see me showing up for my art. They don't want to see me showing up for my craft. They don't want to see me in front of my camera. I tell myself this all the time. Like, they don't want to see me record Magic Monday. Meanwhile, nobody cares. Like, I don't really have any enemies like that. If I do, I'm not aware of them. I'm just in my delusional little Pisces bubble over here. I don't really care. But it helps me even to just think of like hypothetical haters or people who are preying on my downfall, because it helps me just show up. Because I'm like, they don't want to see me succeed. They don't want to see me on Magic Monday. So I'm going to prove them wrong. If you feel the spiky Mars-Pluto energy, seek to alchemize it. Seek to transmute it. If something makes you mad, turn it into a workout. If someone is trying to compete with you, turn it into fuel to win your own race. And in terms of today's lunar story, the moon is in Aquarius all day long. It trines Jupiter after midnight. So if you happen to be awake, you could feel some good feelings, some connected feelings. Again, collaboration over competition is ultimately the goal with the energy of Aquarius moon, but some people will not be able to cheerlead your success or want to work with you or build with you. Some people will feel like your success means their failure. But it's also important to know that not everybody is like that, and not to be hard on yourself if you notice that you feel a little spiky today. You see certain content that makes you feel some type of way. See where it is that you can alchemize it. That if there's a certain post that you see that makes you feel some type of way, a little spiky, acknowledge that this person's winning does not mean that I am losing. And in fact, if someone is winning who's in my community, that's a win for all of us. And I can alchemize this spikiness and this jealousy into fuel and motivation around, if this person can win, let me move closer to my own win. And that could be healing. The moon sextiles Chiron around 12, and the moon sextiles Mercury and Sagittarius in the evening time. So have conversations that are expansive, big picture. The Aquarius moon squares Uranus and Taurus that evening, going void at 8:13 p.m. So you could feel quite restless, have a hard time sleeping, have a lot of thoughts in that brain. On Friday, January 3rd, the moon enters Pisces at 7:21 a.m., which ends the void. And this is our first Friday Venus day with the Venus in exaltation. So dress cute, listen to good music, make a delicious meal. Remember, life is meant to be enjoyed. And that's what makes success sustainable and showing up and doing the work, is when you find moments to romanticize it, find the beauty in it, find the enjoyment in it. The moon aligns with Venus at 8:12 a.m. The moon aligns with Venus at 8:21 a.m. So knowing that universe source energy is constantly speaking to you in signs and symbols and even ideas. And it's important to grab hold of those visions. You know, if you get an inspired idea, write it down, bring it down to earth. So many times we can be so inspired, but because we don't take action on it, it evaporates, right? Back into the ether. Grab hold of it, make an intention that you will bring this vision to reality. And know that you can divinate in so many different ways. Music can be a way of divination. Like, you can wake up every day and be like, Spirit, what do I need to know today? And hit shuffle on your music library and really listen to the lyrics of the song that plays, or pay attention to what emotions it elicits within you. That can be a way that Spirit can communicate with you, as well as just honoring what songs get stuck in your head, or what songs you feel inspired to listen to, or what songs come on the radio. Sometimes there's messages in, if you're paying attention. Again, even honoring what flowers you're drawn to within the garden and looking up the meaning of those flowers. Like, there's so many different ways that we can tap into universal source energy, because everything is universal source energy. And that's why things could be so beautiful and so moving, because it's part of us. You know, if you've ever listened to a song where you're like, this is me, like, this is what it is that I went through, like, it speaks to you, it speaks to your soul. That's because likely that artist created it in flow, in touch with universal source energy. So whatever your medium is, whether that is cooking, whether that is baking, whether that is dancing, whether you allow yourself to be a conduit for the beauty and the divinity of the universe on Friday, as well as just honoring harmony and seeking to see the best in individuals. Again, Venus is getting closer to Saturn, so I'm not saying that we need to see the best in other individuals and allow those rose-colored glasses to keep us in situations that are not good for us, that are ultimately harmful. But with the energy of moon on Venus, it's really striving to see the best in your partner, in your barista, in your friend, remembering that we're all souls doing the best within this particular experience. Give someone a genuine compliment today, something that they don't hear often, something that just admires the art that the universe built within this person, like shining and showing up within their authenticity. Again, you will be your most beautiful, and I think Venus exalting in Pisces echoes this. You will be your most beautiful when you are just flowing with how it is that you are meant to be. That originality, that authenticity. Whenever we're trying to wear what doesn't really feel like us, or trying to create the art that doesn't really feel like us, to a soul level, to an energetic level, people will be able to tell that something feels off because it's not organic. It's not what you were designed to be. That's what success is when we talk about Capricorn season. Success is living a life that is the most true to you and how you are designed to be. On Saturday, January 4th at 2:36 p.m., the Capricorn Sun sextile Saturn in Pisces. And this was very much built into Monday's new moon in Capricorn. It is around the vision that we'd like to arrive to and reverse engineering the steps necessary in order to bring that into reality. Because success is very comprehensive. It shows up on many different levels. There's the physical elements around, getting in that recording booth, writing your songs, but it's also taking care of your physicality so that you feel good. It's taking care of your emotions so that you're able to receive these divine inspirations. It's taking care of the elements of your life that allow you to operate at your optimum capacity. Success is multidimensional. And to really reframe our idea of success, because when I say, it takes work and diligence, I am of the belief that that is the case. But it's not saying that you need to not eat and not sleep and burn yourself out in this effort of being the best that you can be. It's seeing where you can see success as something that, yes, is reaching the monetary goals, the financial goals, but it's also allowing yourself to be at your peak capacity in your physicality, in your peak capacity in your emotions, in your peak capacity in your spirit. That helps and fuels your success in the outer world. And I think with the energy of new moon in Capricorn, sextile Saturn, it's also just breaking things down into manageable steps. Sometimes when we see the big picture vision of what we want to create feels very overwhelming. Break it down. Okay, if I want this particular record deal, what are the necessary steps in order to get there? And sometimes breaking it down. So you could just 1 foot at a time move towards it. We're in Capricorn season. It's the goat. Technically the sea goat, actually, but regardless, it's the goat. 1 little step at a time, and it becomes a lot less overwhelming. Because again, Pisces energy, I love it. We've talked a lot about it this week, but it can be so lost in our own inner world that we procrastinate. We make it this big thing that we never do anything about it. 1 step at a time. I'm actually so excited this week because my new dishwasher is getting delivered. This is such a win for me. I get so overwhelmed with this place because I have so many visions of things that I want to do with it that year after the year, I just do nothing about it. I just do nothing. I did so much research on getting a dishwasher. I researched the best times of year to get it. I looked around all these different sales. I looked into what's necessary. I get so overwhelmed because I feel like it all needs to happen immediately. Like I'll think about how I need a dishwasher, how the front of it literally fell off, and how I'm literally deluding myself to think that it's getting any of my dishes clean. I think it just waves water around there. It does not work very well. That is something that I acknowledge, but then I get so overwhelmed around, well, I also need to fix this, and I also need new furniture here. And then I just don't do any of it. I'll research it, but I don't actually do it. So getting a dishwasher was huge because I finally took all of that research and I just did it. I took it out of the ethers, this idea of this new dishwasher, took all that information that I've gathered, and I made it happen within my reality. And this is hopefully the first of many steps that I will move towards this year around finally tackling some of the home improvement projects that I've been putting off for years, because we can feel like it all needs to happen at once and we can get so overwhelmed on, well, this and this and this. Just start small. Start with one thing. Start with the dishwasher. Like, for the love of God, get a new dishwasher, girl. This has been like year 3 that I've truly and honestly needed a dishwasher. So this is a win. And maybe you'll have something this week where it's a win, right? If you get overwhelmed around feeling like you need to be a complete bodybuilder, just start with this one workout. If you get overwhelmed feeling like you need to be this platinum Grammy-winning artist, just start with this one song. Start small. It's about starting small and continuing to show up. And if you get overwhelmed, just write down all of the home improvement projects that you want to do, or all of the career aspirations that you have, and just think of step by step how you want to bring that into reality. And it's so funny because the lunar story on Saturday actually echoes that energy of overwhelm that I was telling you about, because the Pisces Pisces moon squares off with its traditional ruler Jupiter around 5:34 a.m. So this is energy around getting lost in the sauce, right? Imagining and envisioning all of these different ideas for a home or for a career, and then just getting into analysis paralysis and doing none of them. Like, you could feel that on Saturday, or procrastinating quite a bit, overindulging. That should alleviate, before 9 a.m., like around 8:30, the Pisces moon sextiles the Capricorn sun, and then just before 9 a.m., the Pisces moon aligns with Saturn. So that's kind of the kick in the butt out of the dream world around, okay, let me actually go do something about this. And maybe that's, a project, certainly, but maybe that's even your emotions, doing something to move through a certain emotion. Maybe you're kind of like moping and feeling sorry for yourself in bed, feel your feelings, but at a certain point, see where it is that you can do something about it. Can I write in my journal? Can I call a friend? Can I go for a walk outside? Can I handle this work task rather than staying in bed stressing about it? And so with the energy of moon on Saturn, you might have some unpleasant reality stuff to deal with on Saturday, whether it's work tasks or responsibilities. The Pisces moon that evening will sextile Uranus and Taurus. So again, finding new ways to make your dreams reality. On Sunday, January 5th, the Pisces moon will square off with Mercury in Sagittarius at 3:57 a.m., going on to align with Neptune at 6:30 a.m., at which point the moon is void. And with the moon on Neptune, we could be a little bit lost in our dreams. We could be a little bit in our Delulu. Again, have your own inner Delulu world, one that is conducive to bringing your dreams into reality, rather than a Delulu world that you use to check out from your reality, right? The ultimate goal is creating a life that you do not need to escape from too often. I think every so often with moon on Neptune, get lost in a walk on the beach, get lost in a song, what have you. But with the energy of moon on Neptune, there just could be a little bit of escapism, procrastination, but also inspiration. The moon then enters Aries at 11:01 a.m., trining Mars and sextiling Pluto. So now we dreamed about it. Now it's time to do it with that Aries energy. So you could find there's a little bit more of a spunk, a can-do energy, a desire to conquer any challenges or obstacles. And my love, that is our week. So our Magic Monday mantra of the week is, I dream it to achieve it. Again, with this week's blend of Piscean and Capricorn energies, it's truly an ask to know that these visions were given to you directly from the divine, handcrafted for your talents, for your potential, for your gifts, for your perspective, and to really make your spirit guides proud, make your angels proud, make your ancestors proud by bringing these visions to reality. So if you made it to the end of the forecast, go ahead and drop below the microphone emoji or use the word sing within a sentence. Let me know that you made it to the end as a shout out to our singing protagonist this week. I gotta go run. I'm meant to go see a movie with my friends in 20 minutes from now. So send me good energy that I make it in time. But I'm wishing you all a happy new year. I'm wishing you all a happy new moon. Thanks for being with me in 2024's magic, and may 2025 bring even more magic to this cosmic community that I'm so grateful for. Until we meet again, drink lots of water and stay cosmic.